Today you're watching a figurine review of Sega Press Ishtar, the Useless Goddess from Fate Grand Order Babylonia. This is a new release. She just came out last month, 14th January. So we shall take a look at this figurine today and see how good it is. Are there any shortcomings? Yeah, let's have a look at this figurine. Hello everyone and welcome to Excurgani Blog and Photography. I'm Steven. Continuing on with the review of this figurine, this is one of those $20 2000 Japanese yen press figurines that are a bang for buck. You should just go for them if you like the character without worrying too much about what might be wrong with it just because they are so affordable. Nonetheless, I shall go into detail with the review of this figurine. As for the character Ishtar itself, I doubt that I have to go into detail regarding her character background because if you are watching this video, probably you are already interested in this figurine and you already know who she is. There's nothing really going on with her box, a very small, thin and tall box, and inside you only get the figurine and the base, no assembly required, no additional parts. During unboxing, I did notice something different about her face. It was different from what we saw in the official product photos, which is also printed on the box. Not necessarily in a bad way, but yes, there is something rather different about it. To make things simpler, her facial expression has changed, and it kind of went from, hey, I've lost something very important, have you seen it somewhere here? All the way to, where the is the money you owed me the other day? Yes, her facial expression changed that much, and I think I would attribute that to the differences in her mouth. In the official product photo, the prototype, her mouth was just a pink triangle. That's it. There are not much details, but in the actual product, the sculpt around her lips, her mouth, they are more well defined, more detailed, and painted a bit differently. Normally, under such circumstances, this is actually supposed to be something good. But in this case, this specific case, it changed her face expression quite a lot. And whether you will like this or not, I would say this is subjective. But in the anime, she was seen extorting villagers nearby in exchange for protecting them from demonic beasts. So I would say this kind of facial expression is still rather closely matched to her actual character, her personality as a person, as a servant. That is not yet the main issue of this figurine. I would say her face, the changes, they are still rather acceptable. My main problem with this figurine has to do with her skin tone, her skin finish to be precise. It is inconsistent. It kind of triggered my OCD a bit. So the most obvious part is between her legs. Her right leg is partially covered in stockings. Her left leg is almost bare. Her bare left leg is very shiny, glossy, plasticky looking, but her right leg, right here around the thigh portion, the exposed skin area, they are matte, or I would say satin-like finish. So I don't think Ishtar is wearing any transparent stocking at all on her left leg. So why are the surface of two legs, why are her two legs look completely different? I have no idea. I'm confused in this regard. Her waist, it is also matte finish, and then the same nonsense all over again between her two arms. Her right arm, her right elbow, it is rather glossy looking, while her left arm, if you look at the shoulder region, it is more on the matte side. What are the odds of forgetting to paint two parts of a figurine? I don't really know. Forgetting one part, yes, plausible, but two major parts, an arm and a leg. Did they forget to paint it, or this is the way the figurine is supposed to be? My guess is that that is how the figurine is supposed to be, but this is still very confusing. Why would they do this in the first place? Maybe budget cutting, maybe they are rushing the product out so that she won't get delayed. I can only speculate at this point. And then her chest, the white color area in the middle, there are some grey blotches on it, and this is not weathering, not shading. You won't see shading in $20 price figurines. These are most likely stains from the factory workers when you have sweaty hands and you touch a figurine. Occasionally, you will end up with some greyish color stains on the surface of the figurine. This is probably what we are seeing right here. Other issues that I can find, her left hip right here, very ugly seam line right there, and her skin is not blending in nicely with her underwear. I shall call that her underwear. It almost looks like she is wearing artificial skin or artificial leather that looks like skin over her actual body. So this is not very nice. The paint job on her hair is also very glossy, not very refined. Mold lines everywhere at the sides, at the edges of her hair. You can also find them on the side. Pretty normal for a prize figurine. So far I've been listing out only the negatives of this figure, but if there are things I like about it, yes. The paint job on all the gold color trims, including the ornament on her head, very nicely done. No paint transfer, no scratches, none of that sort. Very accurately painted. So that is one positive about this figurine. And I really do like about her pose. It looks very natural and very similar to what you saw in the very first episode of the anime itself, where she was searching for her Gugalana, the lost bull. It wasn't really mentioned what she was looking for until in the later parts of the series. So this kind of pose, very natural looking, I do appreciate it a lot because it makes the figurine photogenic. And then there is the base, very nice square clear acrylic base. I really like it a lot, but this kind of material, they do get scratched very easily, so do be careful if you do have this figurine. I suppose that is all about this figurine, the pros and the cons, and I know that I'm being very harsh with this figurine despite the low cost, and there's a very valid reason for it, because I know that Sega can do better. Let me bring in another figurine from the Fate franchise by Sega as well. So this is Atalanta from Fate Apocrypha. As you can see, they are of the same size. If you pay attention to all of her paint job, from her skin to her outfit, her hair, everything, they are all very consistent. They are all nicely matte in terms of the surface finish. To put things into perspective, a figure that was made and released 2 years ago is better than one that was made today, which is why I was being harsh with this figurine of Ishtar from Sega. To wrap this review up, I would say that this Ishtar is about compromise, where at a limited budget, at a low price point of $20, you know that there are chances that you are not going to get something perfect. Sometimes it is just a matter of luck. And for the case of this Ishtar, she is the kind of compromise you have to make. You have to be able to accept the shortcomings that I've just described in this review. Because if you want something better, in the price figure market at the moment, there is only one other option, which is the race queen version of her, the very first price figure of Ishtar. To be honest, I'm not fond of the race queen version. I want Ishtar in her original character design, so this is the only option for the price figure market. If you go up market with actual scale figures by Aniplex or Fidex, and possibly Max Factory is coming up with one, those are very expensive. This price figure of Gudako, her review is coming up within just a few days, and I do suggest you guys to check it out when I do publish it, because I will be discussing more about skin finish, which is my main criticism with this figurine of Ishtar. I have very nice things to say about that Gudako, so please do subscribe to this channel if you are interested in more figure reviews and also photography tutorials. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye, and I shall see you again very soon.